Today we're back looking at some creepy stalker story times.
I never thought I would be making one of these videos, but this is a PSA to the girlies. To remember to be extremely aware of your surroundings no matter where you are. This meeting is called to order. A couple of months ago, I was by myself at a Target in Scottsdale, so this was on the nicer part of town. I only went in because I was across town filming a video and my phone was about to die, and I did not have a car charger at the time, so I went into Target to buy one. So I was walking up the sidewalk towards Target, and this guy was walking out of Target because he was leaving. He had a bag in his hand. I'm literally like getting anxious just talking about this because this whole situation honestly like freaked me out so much. So this guy is walking out of Target bag in hand, and mind you, he was a very average looking guy. He didn't look creepy at all. He just looked like your average guy. And I want to say he was probably late 30s to early 40s, but as he was leaving and walking towards me, he was staring me in the eye, like staring at me, and it was kind of freaking me out.
Okay, so with situations like that, if someone makes eye contact with you and doesn't look away within the space of like 2 seconds, I don't know if anyone else has ever made awkward eye contact with someone, but it's really, really scary if they like keep that eye contact. There's been times where I've been in like a train and accidentally connected eyes with someone. I've looked away and then looked back and they're still looking at me, and it's kind of like, oh, like they keep eye contact, and it's really weird. It's kind of creepy. It's like if they keep eye contact for more than 3 seconds, like something weird's going on.
But I do have diagnosed anxiety, so I told myself I was just freaking myself out and it was fine, and I was just overthinking it and I needed to get over myself. But I should have trusted my instinct, because as he passed me, he let out like a really deep, frustrated sounding sigh, and he almost bumped into me, and I was kind of like, whoa.
Ooh.
As he walked past me, he just goes, "You're beautiful," but like he was really irritated about it. But it really caught me off guard, so I kind of turned around and looked at him like after he said it, but I kept walking. Like I was not gonna stop and talk to the dude, but I was just kind of like, "Oh, thank you, like thank you so much." Like I was like, maybe he's just complimenting me.
Yeah, you would think it's a compliment. However, whenever he sighs and like, oh, I'm all for giving people compliments. I get compliments all the time. I'm beautiful and I love it. However, there's a way to give a compliment and then not give a compliment. There's been times where I've been out and I've seen someone wearing a really nice scarf, and I'm like, oh, love your wee scarf, and you smile and say ha 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 and then walk on. However, it's the fact that this man's kind of stopped, made eye contact with you, sigh, and then giving you a compliment. I personally don't like whenever people sigh. Like it kind of freaks me out.
As I started to turn around, he turned around at the same time, but he didn't keep walking. Like he looked like he was about to, like I 100% thought he was about to stop, turn around and come like ask me for my number or something. But I just kept walking because I was trying to be clear, like that's not gonna happen today. Like, you know, just thank you so much. And he just kind of like looked at me and did a double take, but I think he kept walking, and then I walked into Target. But for some reason I had like this really freaked out feeling in my gut. Like I was trying to tell myself that he was just trying to give me a compliment and be nice, but for some reason it just didn't feel like that. So I kind of made a beeline to the back where the electronics section was, because I was kind of scared he was going to follow me in there. But again, I was telling myself, you're being crazy. Like he was leaving, he had his bag, he was going to the car, it's fine. I was squatting down, like comparing the different chargers in the electronics section, and I was the only one in the aisle. There weren't a lot of people in the store, and I started hearing these really loud, like unusual slow footsteps from like a couple aisles over. Like it sounded like someone was walking towards me, but like really slowly, like they were looking for someone. So I look up to the end of the aisle, and literally 2 feet away from me, there he is looking down at me with the most ominous, terrifying stare, and my stomach just dropped. Sorry guys, part 2 is posted now.
Okay, so we do have part 2. We're gonna watch it. That's so freaky, because I know the feeling you get in your stomach whenever it just drops. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. Whenever you know you're being followed, or like you get a feeling like that. Oh, it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's like you feel sick. Have you ever been so tired you feel nauseous and have that like awful feeling? That's basically what it feels like.
This is part 2 of the PSA to the girlies of why you need to always be super aware of your surroundings no matter where you are. So there he is, standing right at the end of the aisle. Like I'm by the end of the aisle, by the way, so he's like looking down at me, just staring into my eyes. And you know when you have that feeling where you just know someone has bad intentions? I literally felt that like all the way down to my core, and I looked at this man in the eyes, and I was just flabbergasted that he followed me all the way back in there. He had been looking for me throughout the store, and as soon as I saw that look in his eyes, I was like, this is the day that So he's looking at me with this bone-chilling stare, and I'm literally just staring him in the eyes, just waiting for him to say something, because I'm literally like in a state of shock. Like I have no idea what to do or say.
It's the fact that like he's staring at you like he's not saying anything. I just think it's so, that's one of my fears right there, and that's why I don't really like talking to people out in public nowadays, especially at night. If I pass someone and I don't make eye contact, I've got my headphones on, like I make sure, just not to like look at them. It's a woman, I'll usually smile because like I've never had issues with women, but it's kind of like men, and like this isn't an anti-men thing. I love men, I think they're amazing. However, sometimes I've had iffy experiences, and it's like I don't know if it's going to be a good experience or a bad experience words with them.
And he holds eye contact with me and just slowly walks into the aisle right next to us, and I couldn't see him anymore. And I knew immediately, like I knew that he walked into that aisle because he was waiting for me to leave and he was gonna follow me out and like kidnap me. And to be honest with you, I did not feel safe inside of this Target either because it was a super Target and it was so empty in there. Like he easily could have just grabbed me as soon as I walked out of the aisle.
Yeah, that's so freaky. It's also the fact like he's making it known that he's there, but he's not coming up to you. That's what's so weird. Like he wants you to know that like he's watching you and he's around you, but he isn't gonna come up to you. If anything, that's worse. Like I'd much rather someone like him come up to try to talk to me than him like sort of watch me from a distance.
And I was like, I need to get out of here now. So I decided to go into the opposite aisle because he went to the left, so I went to the right, and I like ran over to the electronics counter to check out there because I didn't want to risk going all the way up to the front to check out. And literally right then, an employee happened to emerge and go behind the counter, and I was like, can I pay for this here? I don't even know what I grabbed. It was some charger thing. And they were like, oh yeah, of course. By the way, my phone's at 1% at this point too, so I'm like, if my phone takes me, I'm... Now, I knew the right thing to do at this point would be to tell the employee what was going on and ask them to walk me to my car, but the reason why I didn't do this was because this guy was in earshot. He was in the aisle, like, right there. I was, like, scared that would anger him or something, so I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna say anything. So I didn't, which I should have, and I checked out for my charger. I had an idea, and I'm literally praying, God, please let this work because my phone is at 1%. This is my one shot. So I pay for my little car charger. I start calling my boyfriend. I hope my phone doesn't. He picks up on the first ring, and I said super loudly because I knew this guy could hear me and I knew he was listening. I said, hey, you're here to pick me up now, right? Did not even take my boyfriend a split second to figure out what was going on. Thank God for him, he's a genius. Even though he was literally at home, he said back super loud, yep, I just pulled into the parking lot. And after that, I literally just booked it all the way to the front of the store without looking back. I don't know if he was following me because I was way too scared to turn around, but I literally was running. My boyfriend kept up the act all the way until I got to the car, and then I sped out of that parking lot faster than I've ever sped out of any parking lot in my life. So yeah, I will never be going to that Target again. And now I literally hate going places by myself. So if that man ever sees this video, F you, buddy. You know who you are. And men like you are the reason why women cannot just go to the store by themselves one time without feeling unsafe.
Yeah, oh god, that right there was a nightmare. Like, that actually was terrifying. It's also the fact that this man knew what he was doing. He was basically walking out and then followed you back in with the intention to be around you. I haven't had that experience, but I've definitely had experiences where people have followed me in cars. Like, I've seen them drive past me like 4 or 5 times. It's really, it's unnerving. Because for me, they haven't came right up to my face, but it's like, it's the fact that they're lingering around. And that's what makes it worse. It's the fact they're watching you from a distance. Now, that is boyfriend material. I mean, it's a bare minimum. With situations like that, the only thing you can do is comfort the person and pretend that like you're literally waiting outside for them. Targets are always so crowded yet empty. I also feel like whenever you go through situations like that, like they're always empty. Why does it always have to happen whenever it's completely empty, like no one's in there? Just an idea, maybe keep a pen in your purse if you have one. That way you could write a message in your receipt and give it to the employee. I mean, yeah, that right there is good. But then it's also like, what happens if he's seen that? With some of these men, you don't know how they're going to react. They could have a weapon, they could have a gun. They're just so unpredictable, and that's what makes it so freaky. It's like, oh, I don't know how to react. You know, if I ask for help, is that going to backfire and like I'm going to get hurt? It's always the people who keep eye contact too for more than 10 seconds. Exactly. If someone makes eye contact with you for more than 3 or 4 seconds, maybe even 5, like think of it, I'm going to look at you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, that is 5 seconds. That's proper eye contact. Anything longer than that is them basically staring at you. And also with the eyes, she mentioned how he had like weird creepy eyes. And people always do. There's something up with the eyes. They've got eyes but no soul behind them.
Story time. I have to talk about this because if I don't talk about it, then I'm gonna think it never happened, but it happened. I'm pretty sure that I live in a movie. I'm 21. I've been living in the same apartment in Brooklyn since I was 19. And I have this neighbor. He's this old man. I hear him coughing a lot, but I've never really like met him. A few weeks ago, I got a noise complaint because I had some people over. And then a few weeks after that, I got another note under my door, and it said, "Dear Catherine," which is my full name. I don't go by Catherine. It said, "Dear Catherine, word's getting around that you're a floozy who can't keep it in their pants."
Ooh.
I didn't think anything of this note because I thought it was funny, just like an old cranky man, until this morning happened. I always lock my door every night. I don't use my doorknob. I use the lock as like a doorknob, like I'm in like London. I woke up at 7 because I heard a sound, and I got up and turned around, and this man was standing in my apartment just like staring at me.
Wait, what? I'm so sorry. So he's in your actual apartment? Oh, absolutely not. Nah, I do not like the sound of this.
Watching me sleep. So at this point, I got up and I screamed at him to get out. He left, and so I started calling my parents, and they told me to call the cops.
Ooh.
So I called the cops, and about 7 cops showed up to my apartment building. and my neighbor just moved in and she's watching this all go down. I tell them what happened and he's not answering his door. They can't get in. So they go to my fire escape that connects to his window and start knocking on the window, and so he finally comes out and he changed into a robe to make it look like he just woke up, but he was dressed up when he was watching me sleep. This story gets crazier, just wait. So he's struggling against them, saying he doesn't know what we're talking about, he didn't do anything, blah blah blah. They take him away to be evaluated and to question him about what happened. So my dad came and picked me up. So I come home to Long Island and my mom says that she has something for me. So I'm like, okay, what the f are you talking about? She hands me 2 postcards identical to the one that I got. The first one is dated November 2019 and the second one was dated February 20th. So as you can see right here, the top note is from February. He's complaining about a guy that I was dating. And the bottom one is from 2019 when I was dating a different guy. This is the note that I got a few weeks later when I'm now with a different guy. So pretty much whenever I've been with a guy in the past 2 years, he's sent a note. I don't know how he got my home address in Long Island. It probably means he's been in my apartment multiple times, probably while I was gone or while I was sleeping. My mail has been going missing as well. We think it's him. The only way he could have gotten my home address is if he found my ID in my apartment. And that's the end of my first New York City apartment.
Okay, well that is literally making me itch, like I'm tingling, it's terrifying. So basically this woman is living in an apartment and someone broke in and watched her sleep. And then the whole time he's been like sending letters to her home address about the boyfriend she's been dating, like information about her. That ain't a stalker, that's someone who's spiraling. It's also making me think, how long has he been sending them notes to her house for before he broke in? By the sounds of it, he's been stalking her for a year and she didn't even realise. The most shocking part about this story is the police believing you and actually going to his window. Exactly, thank God for that, but I do think it might be because he literally broke into her apartment and was actually in her home. If he didn't do that, they probably would have done nothing. I wonder if he got a hold of your paperwork and key from your landlord or something. I'm so sorry this happened to you. That is illegal though. It's illegal for landlords to give out their tenants information, isn't it? I think that is, but maybe he was like playing the old man trick where like he pretends to be an old man and like he's harmless, etc. when quite clearly he's not. Ladies, if you live alone, always immediately change the locks when you move in and invest in the security system. Exactly, and something that I do is also put a lock in the door. In Northern Ireland, our doors are slightly different to American ones. You can only put one key in a door at one time. So if I'm inside the house and like I've locked the door and put the key in, someone outside can't put a key into the door. It won't work because there's not enough room. I don't know if American doors are like that. I'd recommend it because it means someone literally can't put a key in. But that whole situation's just so freaky. And it's the fact that like he was pretending he was asleep. Nah, he knew exactly what he was doing. Why didn't your mother tell you about the news earlier? You were in danger. Honestly, I thought it was funny and I didn't want to worry her since I was already moving out. See, that's what's wrong with this situation. You thought it was funny. It's not funny. It might be funny to get a note. However, that is quite clearly led to other things. I don't think she lives in that house anymore, thank God for that, and hopefully that man will end up in jail. But anyways guys, that's some creepy stalker story time. It's 9:30 and I'm going out for walks and it's also starting to get dark, and I've also just watched scary TikToks, so that's brilliant, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see me watch more creepy videos like this, let me know, definitely will. Press the bell, subscribe, and see you all tomorrow for another video.